an Army Ranger has been charged for murdering a black female security guard. This is such an odd story that is still developing. According to the footage, this Army Ranger, active duty, dragged this woman like a rag doll, beat her to where she was not even recognizable. The Pierce County Prosecutor's Office filed first-degree murder charges on Friday, July 23rd, against a man accused of murdering a security guard in Washington State this month. Let's put up a picture of the killer and the young lady that he is accused of killing. The young lady is Denise Smith. The alleged killer is Patrick Philip Byrne. Now, according to the report, this 26-year-old Army Ranger stationed at Joint Base Lewis-McChord was charged with the death of 41-year-old Denise Smith, who was found severely beaten and dead in downtown Tacoma on July 18th. Put up another picture of this guy, okay? Remember, active duty, special training, Army Ranger. The US Army released a statement on Friday after learning of the charges and said, and I quote, "The actions described in reports are absolutely appalling. The Tacoma Police Department has full cooperation with the United States Army Special Operations Command. Our deepest condolences to the families affected by this tragedy." Wow. Once again, a developing story. We are not aware of intent yet, but this is a story that we're going to stay on top of. Now, the alleged killer has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder, first-degree burglary, and 2 counts of first-degree kidnapping. His bail was set by a Superior Court judge, Gerald Johnson, at $2 million. That's according to the News Tribune report. Why does he have bail? I have to bring your attention to this part of the saga. This is a man who they have on video brutally killing a black female, beating her for 10, 15 minutes. She's no longer recognizable. Okay, that's the egregious part. Let's go on the other side. This is a person with specialized training and international connections. Why does he get a bond? This makes no sense to me. It goes on. The attack that left Ms. Smith unrecognizable, according to prosecutors, was captured by cameras. Footage shows the 6-foot Byrne enter the building and encounter Smith. Smith, who was just 5 feet, grabbed Byrne's shirt to attempt to keep him from barging past her. Byrne then began to beat Smith for between 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, we're not showing the video. We don't have the footage to show you. I'm going to show you a beautiful young lady, as I'm sure her family would want her to be remembered. Here's a picture of her. She was doing her job. She was doing her job. Let me give you a little more description. During that time, the defendant repeatedly punched the victim with his fist, and he grabbed her by her braid and dragged her around like a rag doll. Prosecutors wrote in the charging papers, Byrne prevented Smith from escaping multiple times, stabbed her in the face with her keys, and choked her until she went limp. Put up a picture of this guy again. Let's get a picture of him back up there. He gets a bond. He gets a bond. During the defendant's lengthy attack on the victim, she repeatedly tried to fight back and she tried to get away but the defendant grabbed her each time and prevented her from fleeing. Records say he repeatedly overpowered her, assaulted her, and threw her around by her hair braid. But this scumbag gets a bond. Dan?
It shows the ills of a system, not a system that allows a person this despicable to be allowed to not, to just still go on the streets essentially, right? To still be doing this. This person has problems. This person is not like stable and is not like, would be considered to be armed and dangerous if they were a person of color and running from the law and had done essentially the same thing, right? So it's just absolutely egregious. And like this violence, I think from folks in the army, not everyone in the army, but from people of color, like this was reminiscent of the like Vanessa Guillen case from a couple of years ago, where she was killed because of like, again, another like person in the army combining like toxic masculinity with violence against women of color. And it was a similar like gruesome murder that there seemed to be like not a lot of care from the authorities. And so whose lives matter? Why do certain lives and certain experiences matter more than others in these instances? And why are there patterns, right? That's what always bothers me, that we have to end up spending time on these like despicable people because they took away these lives that could have continued, right? And so we're taking away time that could have been spent on these people's lives, that should be spent on these people's lives and what they were doing and where they were going and where they were heading, what good they were doing, right? But ultimately, it's absolutely a disgusting indictment of the American injustice system.
Yeah.